he attacked Melton's house, or at least challenged Melton's house to a fight. Look at the way he bends over. Why would he reach out like that? What is that?
It is weird. It is very weird. And if he's like says he's lifting weights, it's not good form for anything.
That's literally lifting with your back and shoulders.
Let's think about this for a second, because I just thought of something. There's been three examples of full body John in the last few months on video.
This moron will do anything to look good and to try and fool people, but it doesn't work. Like everything he does not work. Like him, doesn't work.
There's been this video. There's been the one in front of his mom's fuck bed from the other day.
Oh yeah.
And then there was the one at the Tonight Show party.
Tonight Show firing anniversary?
Yes. And of those three appearances, the two that John knew were happening, there's rumors that he's wearing a girdle.
Paco, are you there?
Ay, arriba. Me llamo es Paco, señor horrible.
Hello, Paco. Why are you calling into my show? I don't think that you've ever called into my show before.
I was a student in Senor Melendez's classroom that day. He had a fight.
Holy shit!
What?
I report. Paco says that he was one of the students who was not speaking English when John had the encounter with one of the non-speaking English students. Paco, thank you so much for calling in.
Oh, it's my pleasure, senor. It's a very scary situation. I'm scared, Mr. Melendez.
Oh, it's okay. You don't have to be scared here, Paco. But why were you scared of Mr. Melendez?
He walked in that day. He smelled like cat piss and beer. And right away, everybody got a bad vibe from him.
Cat piss and beer, you say? That is crazy. Where was Stuttering John, your teacher?
Oh, he's in East Los Angeles.
East Los Angeles. That is crazy.
Yeah.
So what
can I tell you, can I just set the stage, Senor Horrible?
Yes, please set the stage for what happened that day, please.
So he walked in, and he thinks he's cool. He had his collar turned up.
Oh, no.
And then he took the chair, and he turned it around backwards and sat on it backwards with his puto legs spread open in front of everybody like he's so cool.
Wait a minute, so you're saying
And then he said,
Stuttering John came in with his collar popped up like he was, John Travolta in Grease or something. And then to not outdo John Travolta from Grease, he acts like AC Slater and turns his chair around so he can have the back of the chair in front of him so he can just, rap to the kids or whatever.
see, and the smell coming from between his legs. Ay, Dios mío.
His puto legs, you said.
See. So then he say,
See.
I'm not your typical teacher. I'm much cooler. I'm wicked like you kids. I have a son who has a pussy, and he will get pregnant if he wanted to.
Wait, so immediately...
This is day one.
What is that?
Is this day one, or this every class starts like this?
Senor Papas, every class.
Every class, Cardiff. Can you imagine that? So, wait, he tells you every class that he has a transgender kid in hopes that you guys will think he's cool?
Yeah, I think he doesn't remember that he said something before. He just likes to repeat himself every day, all the time. Same thing.
Oh, okay, so you're saying he might be so drunk every class that he forgets that he told you guys, and he repeats himself constantly every day. That's funny because he seems to do that with his podcast show. Have you ever watched his podcast?
It gives me PTSD because it reminds me of being in his class.
Yes.
And we used to call him Cerebro Mojado, which means wet brain.
Wet brain. Cerebro Mojado, which means wet brain. Okay, so now take us back to that day. Like you were saying, John pulls up with his collar popped. He turns the chair around. He's just going to, rap to you kids. kind of just, be one of you. What happened that day where he tried to call the office for help?
Okay, so I tell you, I remember it every night before I go to sleep.
Oh, no, Paco,
So,
I'm sorry.
He's telling us how great he is, and then he streamed his IMDb page on the big screen. And he started going through his IMDb credits.
Every
check
class?
Okay?
All checks out.
See, but this day in particular. And then people say to him, what's radio? We don't listen to radio, we're kids. And then he started saying, Jay Leno. We're like, who's Jay Leno? And this one student, Eduardo, he called him a dumb fuck.
Oh,
And
no.
Eduardo got very mad.
Wait, so John called Eduardo a dumb fuck.
See, and and then there was a girl named Juanita, and he kept asking her when she's going to turn 18.
Oh, no.
And that made us all feel uncomfortable.
That is very uncomfortable. Paco, you're obviously speaking English. Did you guys just strategically not speak English so as to be able to talk about John behind his back?
But he came in saying, I'm Puerto Rican, my last name Melendez. So we all spoke Spanish to him,
Oh, okay.
That's how we do it.
That makes sense to me, yeah, because he came in bragging, hey, I'm just one of you guys. I'm Puerto Rican. My name's Melendez. So everyone's like, oh, great. We can all speak our native tongue here.
Yeah, and so then here's when the shit really hit the fan.
Oh,
He's telling how he
Tortilla
beat
chips?
Shaq in basketball.
He
Yeah,
bragged.
he said, I beat Shaq in basketball.
So he bragged to you guys. This is incredible. So you're saying not only does John go through his has-been list of hits on his show, he will also do this when he's substitute teaching.
See, and then Eduardo already heated up from before. Eduardo told him, you can't beat Shaq in basketball. And he called Eduardo a dumb fuck again.
Oh, no. What did Eduardo do?
He threw a chair at him at that point.
Okay, well, that checks out because John did say that the kids were throwing chairs and desks. So tell us, so who was the actual kid that smacked the phone out of John's hand? Was that Eduardo?
No, that was me. I was trying to help. I got so scared, but I saw him calling, and I thought he's calling for some bikers or somebody named Dan to come and get us. He said.
And?
So I smacked the phone out of his hand.
And then what happened, Eduardo or Paco?
He started crying and he ran out of the classroom.
Oh, so he never actually did lay his hands on you.
No, he's a bitch.
Spy report. There you
He's
go.
a puto.
There you have it. The puto, John Melendez, did not put his hands on this young, brave Mexican student, Paco. Paco, is there anything
That was pretty funny. Good routine.
else that you want to reveal about your substitute teacher, John Melendez?
He's a very bad guy. He stinks, and he offered to buy Juanita beer.
What?
It's not appropriate, in my opinion.
I thought Juanita wasn't even 18 yet.
No, but that didn't seem to matter to him, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I know what you're saying. See? Paco, I want to thank you so much for calling in, and I love you more than a friend. I don't know how to say
thank you,
that.
Paco.
Mexican.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Senor Horrible.
Okay.
Hey, shut up, Mr. Papas. I'm talking to Senor Horrible.
Yeah, shut up,
Thank you
Mr.
so
Papas.
much. To share my truth, I feel like I unloaded here. It made me feel a little better.
It was very brave of you, Paco, to call in and tell the truth. One of your teachers, I don't know if you realize this, but one of your teachers actually called in earlier as well. So just the strength that the Spanish or Mexican community in East LA has come together in order to expose this substitute teacher. It warms my heart, especially during the holidays. Thank you, Paco.
Hold on, Paco. I have one last question for you.
See,
Did Stuttering John Melendez, as a teacher, ever teach a lesson in the form of a rap?
he thought he's like Jack Black, and he's singing, and he told us that Jack Black told him School of Rock should have been him, and he would talk about it. One time he left class to go home and get his guitar. Yeah, it's terrible.
Were you there? Were you in the classroom when John was told not to touch a musical instrument. I believe it was a guitar. And then he proceeded to not only touch it, but to play it in a manner where he cut his finger and bled all over the instrument and the floor.
The blood was leaking out of the bottom of his pant leg. That teacher, she's wrong. It wasn't his fingers. It was coming out of the bottom of his pant leg. I don't know what that was.
Interesting.
But no, he wasn't allowed to touch the instrument. Yeah.
Interesting, Paco. Thank you. It must have been her perspective. Is that anything else, Cardiff? Do you have any more questions for Paco? OJ?
No, thank you, Paco. OJ's jacking off.
Thank you so much, Paco. Is there anything else you want to leave us with?
No, I love you all more than a friend. Even
camera was something else because my camera was showing up behind that color bar when I changed it. So nothing makes sense. PL $2. Start with the basics. Rocco.